The Waverly Hills Sanatorium is a former sanatorium located in the Waverly Hills neighborhood of Louisville, Kentucky. The land that is known today as Waverly Hill was purchased by Major Thomas H. Hayes in 1883 as the Hayes family home. Since the new home was far away from any existing schools, Mr. Hayes decided to open a local school for his daughters to attend. He started a one-room schoolhouse on Pages Lane and hired Lizzie Lee Harris as the teacher. Due to Miss Harris's fondness for Walter Scott's Waverly novels, she named the schoolhouse Waverly School. Major Hayes liked the peaceful-sounding name, so he named his property Waverly Hill. In the early 1900s, Jefferson County was ravaged by an outbreak of tuberculosis, known as the White Plague. There were many tuberculosis cases in Louisville at the time because of all the wetlands along the Ohio River, which were perfect for the tuberculosis bacteria. To try to contain the disease, a 2-story wooden sanatorium was opened, which consisted of an administrative main building and 2 open-air pavilions, each housing 20 patients for the treatment of early cases. In the early part of 1911, the city of Louisville began to make preparations to build a new Louisville City Hospital, and the hospital commissioners decided in their plans that there would be no provision made in the new city hospital for the admission of pulmonary tuberculosis, and the Board of Tuberculosis Hospitals was given $25,000 to erect a hospital for the care of advanced cases of pulmonary tuberculosis. Due to constant need for repairs on the wooden structures, need for a more durable structure, as well as need for more beds so that people would not be turned away due to lack of space, construction of a 5-story building that could hold more than 400 patients began in March of 1924. The new building opened on October 17, 1926. Waverly was considered the best treatment center for tuberculosis at the time. While most treatments consisted of eating healthy and exposure to fresh air, there were other experimental treatments used, such as implanting balloons inside the patient's lungs and filled with air to expand to help them breathe better. Very few patients survived these treatments. It is estimated anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 documented patients died at Waverly. So many patients died that the hospital had to create a tunnel to move all of the dead bodies. This is known as the body chute. The tunnel was created so that the patients in the hospital wouldn't lose faith in the treatments and would not be aware of the mass number of dead patients leaving the facility. After a patient left the morgue, they were transferred from the hospital through the 537-foot tunnel to the railroad tracks at the bottom of the hill and taken away. Conditions in the hospital were generally reported as clean and the staff friendly, caring, and helpful. The biggest complaint was about the quality of the food and the conditions of the African American workers' quarters being unlivable and in disrepair. The recovering patients were kept busy learning how to sew, type, and train themselves for a vocation in the workforce. For a short time, some patients found horse betting therapeutic until it was frowned upon and forbidden. Remember, Louisville is the home of the Kentucky Derby in Churchill Downs. After the introduction of streptomycin in 1943, the number of tuberculosis cases gradually lowered until there was no longer need for such a large hospital. The remaining patients were sent to Hazelwood Sanatorium in Louisville. Waverly Hills Sanatorium closed in June of 1961.
Well, hey everybody, welcome back.
Hey everybody.
Generation X Paranormal, I'm Logan.
And I'm Nicole.
Guys, it is freezing outside right now.
Yes,
we're in the throes of the holiday season. We just had Thanksgiving, but I don't remember it ever being this freaking cold this
early. It is pretty early. Yeah.
It's nuts. But on the flip side of that, we went to Waverly Hills.
We did.
And it was not
finally.
cold.
Yeah. No, it was in August, and it was, for most people, it was a horrible hot August,
Yeah, it
no matter
was.
where you were, and it was super humid. And of course, Waverly Hills is in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's by the river, which if you're not aware of this, the closer you get to water, the more humid it becomes, it seems.
Yes, very humid.
And it was pretty miserable. I know we had some wet, like I got those towels, that we kayak with, and I kept dunking them in water, putting them around our neck just to
Saved
survive
our
the night.
lives because it was so
Yeah.
bad. But we wanted to first off thank Mike and Sam
Yes.
of the Mysterious Mike and Sam Epic VIP events for inviting us here.
Yes, they did.
It first of all, if you ever get a chance to go to Waverly Hills, which is very difficult to do in itself because it's not the cheapest place to go. So
No.
you kind of need to have a few people with you. So it's usually it's tough to get to. And again, we thank Mike and Sam for
Yeah,
for
thank you
having us
guys.
there. But we had a blast. But
Also, we got to hang out with our great friends,
Yep.
AC Ghosthunters, which
That's
you
right.
guys all know now from Ashmore Estates.
That's right.
Yeah, so Chris and Anna, we got to investigate with them, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
It's nice because you do a lot of investigations with a lot of different people, and sometimes it's a little tougher because you got to learn people's shorthand, what their, kind of what their reactions are and everything. But for some reason, it seems like with them, we just clicked right away.
we do.
It's just
for
like
sure.
it worked out really well. So no, it was awesome to work out with them again and to be actually at such
Work out with them.
workout. So I said,
Yeah,
work with
out
them.
with them.
Hey, yeah, we throw weights around a little.
Yeah.
But no, it was great to work with them again. So yeah, guys, I would probably expect them around a little bit more.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
But yeah, we got to go to, as you mentioned in the beginning, this is the home of the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, it is, and it's my first time in Kentucky, at least stopping and seeing Kentucky. I drove through it, but
Right.
and there was the one place I wanted to go because I've always loved horses. I'm not like into the horse racing or gambling or anything, but I had to go. I'm like, we have to go see the Kentucky Derby. The horses weren't there.
No.
So, sad face.
Yeah.
But the museum's pretty cool. It was
really
cool to like walk through and see all the history.
A lot bigger than I thought it'd be.
Yeah. And it, like we said, it was hot. And they take you out to the track, and we lasted not very long at all because we were just like with sweats beaming down everyone's faces. Everybody's about ready to pass out. It was like, I'm trying to remember. I think with the heat index, wasn't it 103 or something like that day?
That.
It was rough. And then, we get to Waverly at like 8:00 at night, and the temperature has not come down hardly at all. Even with the sun setting, it was pretty rough.
And to make matters worse, there was a little bit of rain involved.
Yes.
So, you would think naturally.
It was supposed to rain, which is good if it rains because it breaks that humidity, but it didn't rain.
No, it did not rain once.
So it all just stuck up in the clouds. So it was
just a big soup.
Yes.
It was a big heat
soup sandwich.
Yeah, soup sandwich. There you go.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. So, kind of at the top here, we talked a little bit about the history of Waverly Hills.
Yes.
And the one thing I want to kind of point out that you were talking about is a lot of the other places we've gone to, there's been some real kind of awful things that had a really tough history. Although Waverly Hills had a very sad history because of it being a tuberculosis treatment center, and there was a ridiculous amount of death. The patients that were there, I mean, they did enjoy it there. It was...
Yeah, I mean, from like reported articles, and we posted some of these of even people when the city and state were getting ready to shut down the sanatorium. The patient, like the ex-patients that were there were like, no, don't close this place. I mean, the staff, it was clean and they took care of us. It was all like a fiscal thing though, because it was costing the city and the state so much money to keep it open, and there weren't enough patients basically. But they all seemed happy about it. Now, of course, we're not going to know everything that went on unless we were there.
Yeah.
So we're going off hearsay. We're going off, articles, documents, stuff like that. But the majority talks about like good experiences there. Now, did a lot of people die there?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
we don't even know how many people died.
Yeah.
And I did see a big number. And if you Google about Waverly Hills, you're going to find a number that says, 63,000 people died. I don't think it was that. I think somebody has like majorly increased that number. There's only like 8 to 10,000 documented deaths.
Which
now,
is still a
that
ton.
could that be over that number? Of course.
Right.
But I would say it's more around that number. Somebody blew it way out of proportion with the 63,000 because, with a lot of these places, the lore, which is just going to play a part here in a second, becomes bigger than the actual story or changes the story, like a game of telephone, right?
Yes.
So I was actually a little surprised because I expected Waverly Hills to have a really dark history because of what it was. And I really didn't find that much darkness beside the fact that people were sick and dying.
Sure.
I mean, that's darkest enough in itself, but you always expect to find like a lot worse thing, like abuse and all this other stuff. And I really didn't find anything like that. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I'm just telling you from what I was able to research and dig up. I didn't find anything like that.
Yeah, and that just goes to show that, at least they were caring for these people, at least in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, granted, there was probably some undocumented stuff that happened because
obviously,
you're going to have that even now in hospitals, But yeah, we talked about it closing. What happened afterwards?
So, and I've got a few articles here while we're talking. We'll put them up. So basically, the city and the state of Kentucky in Louisville were talking about what they could turn this huge building, right? Now they've got this huge, massive building. What are they going to do with it? Right? It's just sitting there. And so everybody, of course, has all their different ideas. Right? So one of the things was, let's build a park around the area because the land around the sanatorium, there was a lot of acreage, okay, which now doesn't exist because that's been broken up. And I know when we were driving in, I was surprised to see there was like a golf course.
Right.
So when you drive up this drive, you can't see it. You drive past this golf course and then like the opening of the trees, you get through the gate and then it sits up there on that hill, which is it's very cool. It's very cool.
We got a video running of it here. We're coming up in our Jeep and it was just forgive the bug, by the way, the bugs that are all over the windshield, but no, it's you're right. And what I also found interesting is I kind of expected it to be, guys, we've seen this place on countless TV shows and everything else. Yeah. And I guess you kind of expected to see it kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Right. So here we are in this residential area. We hang a left and here's this beautiful golf course. And all of a sudden hang another left. And here is the Waverly Hills. Yeah. It was kind of wild, but yeah, it was the presence. When you first drive up to it, guys, it is, and I don't know that the video is going to do much justice or not, but it is menacing. It's so big. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, there were quite a few of us that went on this, and I'm thinking to myself, how in the world are we not gonna get lost in this thing?
Oh, I totally would have gotten lost if it weren't for Chris and Anna and Mike and Sam telling us we need to go. I would have totally, because that's the other thing is they have certain rules and stuff that they lay out at the beginning. There's certain doors you can open or go through, or an alarm will sound, and I'm like, I'm totally gonna forget.
Oh yeah.
What door I'm not supposed to open.
2:00 in the morning. I'm
going to be the one to set off the alarm. So I followed the leaders. Yeah. I was like, I'm not touching anything.
I'm like, if it's going to go off, and it's funny because like I was saying, at 1-2 o'clock in the morning when you're just tired and you've been talking to ghosts all day, you're not going to be thinking about at 8 o'clock when somebody said, hey, don't open that door because that alarm's going to go off. Right. I for sure thought I was doing that, but we didn't. No, we made it.
Yeah, we made it. And it was really cool. I mean, there's a lot of great people there. Some people we already knew. And we knew, and Ashley from Ashmore Estates, and Robin Terry was there. So we finally got to meet him because he wasn't there at Ashmore when we went. So that was nice to have a chat with him. But yeah, the whole experience was really, really cool. Just saying that we were at Waverly was good enough.
There was another thing we got to do this time, even before we got to go, when we went to Ireland, we did this again. This is the first time you and I ever saw a Frank's box up close.
That's true.
That was pretty cool.
So Mike and Sam got a Frank's box. Robin Terry sold them a Frank's box, and so they got to use it for the first time at Waverly.
Right.
Yeah. So that's
pretty cool.
It was very, very cool.
Yeah, I want one.
Kind of make, well, of course, everybody wants one. That will make an appearance later on.
Yeah.
But anyway, So, yeah, that's basically what happened. And so, they talked about a park. Okay. And they were really trying to get this turned into, now, the newspaper articles are going to say a word that I don't like.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is the time period, 1960s, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
But they were trying to open it into a hospital for mentally challenged children. And you can all guess what that word is.
Right.
Okay. It starts with an R.
The big R.
Yes. So you'll see multiple, things referring to that. And then somebody else came in and wanted to open it as like a center for the elderly.
Okay.
Okay.
Gosh, that's how they get. Well, they did have elevators, so the thing about all those stairs. I'm like, good lord.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are all the things kind of coming into play, and I'll put these up here. Oh, it needs to be this. It needs to be, and I only clipped a few just to
Right.
give you an idea. So, but in the end, the Center for the Elderly won out.
Right.
Now, I don't know how long. I couldn't find any documentation of how long that actually operated, but it seemed to be like a pretty good facility for the elderly. I know they had like a little like Mother's Day thing where they were doing their hair and stuff in there. So it seemed like, I mean, the best those types of facilities can be.
Right. I mean, I'm sure they were undermanned and understaffed and under funded, but I think they did the best they could.
Right. And I think it was more like an assisted living as opposed to a nursing home.
Right.
I think.
So it's sort of like an apartment type.
Maybe. I think like if you could have a step between assisted living into nursing home, it was probably in that like gray area is what my guess is going to be.
Sure.
So now I don't know what year that closed down. Okay. But if the sanatorium was in the 60s, this is probably more like in the 70s is what I'm going to guess, 70s, 80s. And then since then it's been abandoned.
It's derelict.
Yeah. Which is a shame.
It's
because I can imagine what it looked like in its heyday because it's still, I mean, yeah, it's kind of falling apart now, but it wasn't in terrible, terrible condition considering it sat empty for that long.
I mean, it would take a major overhaul to get that building back going. And then just the maintenance in it alone is probably ridiculous. And so I understand that part about it, how it didn't fiscally make sense.
Yeah.
But gosh, you could almost imagine selling it to maybe a commercial property and turning it to like a huge hotel or something like that. You wouldn't want to do that now. But I was thinking, back when it first closed,
it could be apartments or something.
Yeah, apartments or something. This place is
it's massive.
It's huge.
Guys.
Yeah.
It's massive. Like it was bigger than I thought it would be.
Way bigger than I thought it'd be. Yeah.
And what's really cool is if you stand on one end and because there's no windows on that open air where like the hospital beds would have been. So if you stand there and you look out the window, you can literally see the other side of the building like wrapping around. And you can't say that for many buildings.
No, you sure can't.
You got to usually stick your head out the window and look but you can just look and it just curves. And you'll see that in some of the investigation video. Yeah. It's dark, but you can still see the edge of the building. So that was really cool. But let's get on. So it's got 5 floors. Okay. 5 very long hallways. I think each hallway is like 500 feet.
Yeah, I believe it.
I think that's what I saw. And so we got to pretty much go on all of them.
Yeah, I can't think of one place we didn't get to go to. In fact, we probably went to a place that typically a lot of people don't get to go to because, we had such good guides. So,
yeah.
But yeah, guys, let me tell you something. It's not only is it very long, but it is wide too.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like it's very at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the evening or morning. You're walking down those things, you're feeling it because it is just enormous. There are the elements have come to join you, like bats and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the bats.
Yeah,
Anna loves the bats.
Yeah. So
and they dive bomb your head.
Yes, they do. Especially if you have your flashlight on. That's a good tip for anybody who goes there.
Always have a flashlight.
Mind your flashlight because if you keep it on, sure enough, they're probably going to come to you.
Keep it pointed down.
Yeah, keep it pointed down or cup it when you don't need it.
The bugs too.
Yeah,
that was one thing. Yeah. Because there's no windows, so anything can kind of fly in there.
Which can inhibit some contamination too, and we'll get into that as well. But
which you might as well just say it now. I mean, and that's the thing is it's not out in the middle of nowhere, so we had helicopters over, flying over planes.
Yeah.
You'll hear like motorcycles and cars and all that good stuff, which I didn't expect. I didn't expect for it to be that contaminated with city noise, but I didn't realize. And it's like that with a lot of, like even the Stanley Hotel. I expected it because you always see it off in the distance. It's like right there.
Oh yeah,
in town.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I
it's
remember
just
when we
our
drove into
perception.
Estes. We're like, "Where's the stand? Oh, it's right there. It's like literally right there."
Yeah, it's just our perception. Because I'm like, what's that big white hotel up there?
Yeah,
like it kind of looks like, but that can't be it.
It's still got to be out there in the hills somewhere.
That's because of the movie. That's what it is. But back to Waverly.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the paranormal claims. Okay,
Lots of those.
There's always lots, but here's the main ones. Okay, so there are countless stories of shadow people, ghostly children, slamming doors, and sightings of a mysterious man in white that drift through the corridors. Okay. There is also said to be a boy named Timmy who roams the hallways and likes to roll a ball. So he likes to play ball with you. Okay. One of the most active rooms for hauntings at Waverly Hills is room 502.
Yes.
Which is just off the old nurses station, which is on the 5th floor. Okay. It is said. In 1928, a nurse named Mary Hillenberg hung herself from the ceiling light in the hallway outside room 502. It's believed that she took her own life because of a pregnancy from one of the male doctors at Waverly Hills. Around the time the body was found, they also say that an infant's body was found in the cistern. And if you don't know what a cistern is, it's basically kind of like a holding tank for water, like a well type situation. Okay. We'll get to that later. Okay. Now, there's also an entity known as the Creeper.
Yeah.
That he basically climbs, well, I shouldn't say it climbs the ceiling and walls and roams throughout the facility.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that one freaks everybody out.
That one always freaks everyone out. Yeah. So everybody knows about the Creeper. We did not see the Creeper.
We did not, as far as we know, anyway.
Which I am totally okay
I'm
with.
good with that. Yeah, we've had some run-ins with things we thought could have been. I remember when we went to Missouri State Penitentiary, we kind of thought we might have seen one down the hall. I'm okay with not seeing one at Waverly Hills.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. And we'll put up a few. So there's, the couple famous photos, okay, and they're both of what appears to be a woman. One looks like a nurse, okay, and she's coming out of the doorway. One of the best that I've ever seen, if it's a real picture.
Yeah. Oh, no question about it. Yeah, you look at this thing, and not only does it look like a person, but it blocks out things. So yeah,
full-bodied apparition.
Full-body apparition.
Yeah.
100%.
So those are the paranormal claims. So let's get to the nurse, okay? Because this is one thing that, as the researcher, right, whenever claims like this are made, especially at a really extremely famous place, I'm like, okay, I want to find evidence of this person.
Sure. Yeah.
Because you could do a disservice to the person that actually lived, right?
Yeah.
By telling their story wrong. I always want to find this person, right? So because it's at least all over the internet of this woman's name and even what year she passed away, I'm like, okay, there's got to be evidence of this happening.
Well, not only is it on the internet, but every single show you ever see about this place
talks about the nurse.
About the
it's
fifth
the nurse,
floor nurse,
the fifth floor, and that's actually the first floor we went to.
It is the first floor.
And by the way, when you go up there and you go to this area where she supposedly hung herself, if you look up at that light, like, how would anyone hang themselves from that thing?
It's up there.
Well, and it's just the way it's designed.
Yeah,
how would you hang yourself? And let me point this out. So the 5th floor, okay, it's got this big observatory area, which they said that the kids would play, right? So there's a bunch of windows around it. It's the only area of Waverly Hills that has all the windows, basically, because it's at the very top. And there's like a little nurse's station right there. It's not a very big floor. And then you've got the other side, which has, basically the top of the rest of the building.
Right.
Okay. And so I'm thinking, it's a 5th floor. It's a busy hospital. I'm just breaking it down to myself. How does a nurse go in front of the nurse's station and hang herself without anybody seeing this?
True. Yeah,
with the staff of a hospital. But we'll just leave it at that. That was my own thought. So I'm like, okay, if this happened, this nurse commits suicide in 1928. We're not back in the 1800s. We're in a time period that there's documentation of this stuff. You know, there's newspaper articles, there's all this stuff. So that's where I start. When I tell you I can't find anything about a nurse at Waverly Hills dying of suicide, nothing. And I mean nothing.
Right.
I scoured. I tried different keywords. Over and over and over. I took 8 days looking for it.
And guys, just so I can reiterate to you that I know Nicole probably won't say, she has access to newspaper. I mean, when she does research, guys, we're not talking about she just Google searches it a couple of times.
No, I don't use Google very often.
Right. I mean, we're kind of like, if you haven't noticed with our show at this point, we're very heavy on the research and documentation. And when we say we've researched it, it's all on her, basically, but she has gone through an exhaustive amount of time to look for this. So please keep that in mind when we talk about this.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it's always possible that, you know, something didn't get documented or I just was unable to find it. I didn't use the right keyword to find it. That's always a possibility. I'm not going to say I'm the end all of research that I just, you know, it just doesn't exist because I didn't find it. I will never say that.
Right.
I'm just telling you what I experienced and what I went through is that I went through I searched for the nurse suicide, nothing. So then I'm like, okay, let me try the actual name. I could not even find an existence of somebody with that name that would have lived in Kentucky, that would have worked, would have been the right age or anything that would match that. And so I'm like, okay, let's see what I can find. So these are some things, okay? Because I'm like, if a nurse commits suicide, maybe they didn't report it. Maybe they didn't want people in the town knowing. Maybe they found a way that the media couldn't know about it and they could hide it and cover it up, right?
Sure, yeah.
So if it goes for that, then they would cover up any kind of thing.
You would think so, because it's going to tarnish her reputation.
Right. So I found a newspaper article in February of 1928, so it's still the same year that she's said to have done this. February 1928, I get a newspaper article. Nurse killed by motor at Waverly Hill. Miss Molly Martin, 55, struck after leaving car. Dies in doctor's arms. So they report that a nurse got hit by a car.
Right.
Okay, so that's in the newspaper. So they're reporting on things. Then later that year, November 1928, this is what's interesting, and I'll tell you why here in a second. There is a newspaper article that says, woman ends life at sanatorium. And I'm like, oh, I found it. You know, like I got really excited. Oh, I found it. As I start reading, it says, with a pair of silk stockings wound around her neck, the body of Mrs. Lizzie Chrysalis, 58 years old, of Williamsburg, Kentucky, was found hanging in her room at the Horde Sanatorium on the LaGrange Road near Lakeland at 7 o'clock Tuesday morning. So I'm like, okay, that's not Waverly Hills. Where is this place? And when I looked up this Horde Sanatorium, obviously they didn't, I guess it was maybe like a nickname for it in the local area. But it would have been the Lakeland Asylum, which is now, I believe, torn down. Okay. And it was more like a mental asylum.
Okay.
Instead of like, you know,
a tuberculosis
hospital
clinic or something.
It's more like a mental asylum.
Sure.
So that would make sense. Like somebody's hung themselves. And I think they dealt with like alcohol abuse and drug abuse as well. And I looked, so I'm like, how far away is this from Waverly? Because it's in the state of Kentucky, but 22 miles away.
That's quite a ways away.
Not well, it is like
days.
if you're walking, but I'm saying as far as distance, it's not that far away. 22 miles away. Yeah. So we know how lore works.
Yeah.
Right? This lady wasn't a nurse, but she did hang herself in 1928.
Right.
Not the same name, not same age. Like those circumstances are not the same, not pregnant, but a woman that hung herself in a sanatorium.
Yeah.
So does that get turned into a story and then it becomes Waverly and then it becomes, oh, she got pregnant? We don't know.
Right.
But I thought it was interesting that I found that article.
It's very interesting.
Okay, and I'll put up the pictures, but the Lakeland Asylum's pretty menacing looking. And then I found another one in June of 1945. Now, this is much later, right? Sanatorium ward nurse dies. She served 20 years. Okay. And she was a ward nurse at Waverly Hills. And she died at the sanatorium after an 8-month illness.
Right.
So there's another nurse, did die at Waverly, actually from being sick. But the name doesn't match, age doesn't match, pregnant not match, suicide doesn't match.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they're reporting about nurses dying at the hospital.
Right.
So why just that one is not reported? Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, you would
Okay.
think it almost have to be.
Right. Now, I just put this in here because it was the only one that I found, but this is from October of 1954, and this is towards more the end of the tuberculosis, hospital years. Waverly patient commits suicide. Okay, and it was a guy in his room. So they're reporting about suicides from the hospital.
Right.
They're reporting about deaths. So why just her is not being reported on? Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't pass a common sense test. I mean, it really doesn't.
It doesn't to me. Now, I will say this. I did keep looking. I was like, okay, I'm going to just find this woman. So I went on ancestry.com and I put her name in. And I didn't put a year, and I just put Kentucky, basically. I just wanted to see if
A
there was
blanket search.
a blank, to see if from any time period, any area of Kentucky, anything like that. Well, this is what's interesting. I did find a Mary Hillenberg. However, she was not a nurse. She was a housewife, and she was married. She was born and died in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Kurtz in Jackson, Indiana. It's Kurtz, the city, Jackson County, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
July 20th, 1932. So only a few years after the supposed nurse, right?
Gotcha.
Which is, I looked it up, is 68 miles away from Louisville. Because
Not
this
too
part of
far.
Indiana it's very close, so only 68 miles away. But her death certificate, which I'm going to put up here, she did die of pulmonary tuberculosis.
Isn't that interesting?
So that's why it makes me think, like, did somehow somebody do botched research, or did somebody make up a story and then combine all these different elements to create this thing that happened at Waverly? And we know how these things work now, right?
Mm-hmm.
This story gets told. People go into these spaces and they want to talk to Mary, the nurse that hung herself. Why did you hang yourself? And they keep asking the questions. We know what that can create in energy.
That's right.
It can create Mary, the nurse who killed herself.
And that's what I think's happened up to this point.
I honestly do. Now, I'm not going to say that this woman maybe didn't exist. Maybe this did happen and I just haven't found it, or something got covered up and there's no way of finding it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's that chance.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just leaning more that there's a paper trail usually, and there is no paper trail.
Yeah.
None. Now, I will say this, and I'm not going to say who it was, but I did find a blog from somebody that went on an investigation with another group, and there were 2 mediums involved.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to contact Mary, right? Mm-hmm. And they basically said that she contacted them and told them that she was pregnant with the doctor's baby, and him and 3 other people, 3 other men, they tried to the doctor tried to do an abortion on her and abort the baby, and he botched it basically. Mm-hmm. And so then he was going to cover up that she was going to die, and he hung her from the ceiling light, put a chair in her, kicked it out, and it was supposedly the doctor and somebody that worked on an orderly,
like maintenance or something.
Yeah, an orderly, and like two people of something to do with the hospital. And I was like, that's a
pretty tall order.
Yeah, it is. 4 people involved. Nobody sees this. And then they say with the baby, they put it in one of the coffins with a man a tuberculosis body and sent it off down the chute to the train, and so that's how they hid the baby. I don't know. It just it seems like an awful, like, and I'm not trying to disrespect any medium,
No, the intuitive probably maybe saw that in their mind and maybe got some kind of visuals of it, but that may not necessarily know exactly the full detail.
Right.
Us having worked with a lot of different mediums, everybody's got a different process.
Right.
So it's tough to say exactly what they saw. I mean, they're just trying to, from what I understand, they're just trying to interpret some vision that they're seeing.
But
So.
I've also known, we've seen there were things have gotten made up to
Yeah,
make
we
them
have.
appear bigger and better.
We have seen
So
that.
I don't want to ever judge anyone that I don't know personally and and I'm trying not to do that, but it just seemed like a very elaborate story. And if that is actually what happened to this poor lady, it's terrible and horrible, and
Yeah.
I'll be the first to apologize. I find it unsettling that I can't find an existence that this person even was born or lived.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at with the nurse thing.
Yeah, the nurse for me, and we'll end it with this because you kind of said what you said, but to me, I think the nurse is an egregore. I think that a lot of
Yeah.
people have heard this story. I think that if you go to Waverly Hills and you look for this, you may find it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's quite what you think it is. I think that people have just put so much energy into that, and it's focused into a thought pattern,
Right.
just like an egregore.
Yes.
So that's what you're gonna get. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be the most active area. Why is it the most active?
Because everybody's going there
Because
and pouring energy
everybody's
into it.
looking for the nurse,
Yeah.
And so that's why I just really, and we didn't really, I think when we went up there, we mentioned something, but we didn't really get much up on the
No.
5th floor.
Mm-mm.
It was pretty quiet. And I just remember feeling at the time, like looking up at the light, being like, how did that even happen?
Yeah.
And then thinking about how someone could do that so quickly in a busy hospital, no one noticing. And then, I don't know, I just didn't get the feeling. I don't know, and I go off my feelings.
We may not have seen anything, too. It's tough to say.
And it's true. I mean, things don't always happen, so I can't judge it off that. But now that I've done the research, and I just feel like it didn't happen.
Right.
But I'll be the first to say I was wrong. If you have any evidence that this person lived, please send it to us. I'd love to know if this actually happened to this person.
info@gxparanormal.com.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go on and go to our investigation.
Yeah. This guys, this was a lot of fun. So enjoy.
Yeah.
Guys, and I know a lot of people in the audience and people that know me personally, I still struggle with a lot of different things when it comes to intuitiveness. Um, I want to believe that I just have a pretty good read of the room and certain things like that. But then what ends up happening is you get an instance of what we're about to talk about, where I just sort of lean into it. Some pretty wild stuff comes out, and I really don't know what to make of it. It's something that I'm still trying to wrestle with, but when I say things happen to me at Waverly Hills, I mean, things happen to everybody at Waverly Hills, but I feel like that was the first time I ever kind of allowed myself to lean into whatever the heck it is that I got rolling around this noggin of mine. So the first place we went to was the morgue. Well, second place, but first place we really did some deep, deep investigation. And it was a smaller group. It was, if I remember, it was myself, yourself. It was Anna.
And
Chris was it with us, and there's a couple other people with us, but I can't recall who it was. But anyway, to not to beleaguer the point, but as soon as we walked in that place, I felt like I was sort of in the clouds a little bit. I know it's hard to explain, but kind of floating on air. I wasn't connected with that particular time and place. I felt like I was seeing things from like a different point of view. Then I guess I kind of find out why. The first thing we did is we placed our Zoom recorder. So we put the Zoom recorder in the cooler. Now the cooler is where obviously they kept some of the body coolers at. And as soon as we did that, I just started to feel something close to me. And I just felt like it was like right here. So at first, I kind of wanted to resist it, and if you're watching, you can see where my hand is. But when I'm talking about it, I'm literally about 4 feet from my or 4 feet, 4 inches from my face. I'm like, something is standing right here. So I just took a deep breath, and I said, okay, what am I seeing? And immediately I saw somebody that looked, I want to say Van Goghish. I think even say it in our evidence
You do, yeah.
that it looked kind of like a Vincent Van Gogh. He had the facial hair and the hat, but he was right up in my face, and I felt like he was trying to get my attention, that he wanted me to see something. So I leaned into that.
Mm-hmm. And so we're going to play you a little bit of the investigation here, and then we'll talk about it.
If you're in here, can you talk to the recorder? Maybe say your name. Or can you touch one of the red lights? They won't hurt you. They're just for us to know that you're here.
I'm getting a feel like someone with facial hair. What was that?
Hello?
Is that somebody in the hallway?
Hello?
It better be. keep seeing the same image.
What is the image?
It's a skinny man with like a facial hair goatee kind of. Yeah, it kind of looks very similar to like Van Gogh. Is there a male in here that wants to talk? Did you have a beard? Keep feeling like you want to show me something. Are you trying to show me something?
Just completely kicked everything out and restarted it, so.
Candles just came up as well.
Do you want to show something over here?
Can you blow on that candle? Blow on it and it'll go up. It's a birthday cake candle.
Moving it. I'm going to bring it over here.
Okay.
Oh, the candle's off.
Yep.
There you go.
I thought you turned it off, so I.
Oh, okay.
Off touching table. Lights.
Cool.
Yep.
Lighting up.
Thank you. Can you turn it back? Thank you.
Okay, so I'm here now. You still want to show me something?
Oh shit, it scared me. First picture I seen, that's a man.
What does the man look like?
I can't really see his face though.
Huh.
What was
I
she
can see his
saying?
face better. Could be.
Didn't have a beard though.
I mean, I can zoom into his face, but you can't really see if he has hair.
Are you trying to show us a doorway?
Why didn't it do that when the candle went
I
on?
didn't. Is that a door?
It's a fucking door.
It's a door.
Okay, so here's what I saw. I saw the same person I keep picturing standing by a door with like a candle. She's trying to show me inside a room. And I said,
Candle's on.
Candles on.
Look, I got chills.
Come see this picture. When you said that, that's what came out.
Yep.
Is that what you see?
Mm-hmm.
What's that on the?
Is that like a body on the floor that's
No, it
laying?
looks like it.
Like
Yeah.
just like torso and butt and
Mhm.
It's gone. But
Okay.
it didn't ding when the candle
The
went on.
candle. No.
When the candle picture
And now the
came up, it
candle's,
didn't ding.
candle's back off.
Was that the room you were in? Is that where you passed?
Can you show us a number? What was your room number?
wearing a hat. Like,
That first picture, he was wearing a hat. Like a
Oh,
beanie hat.
yeah.
Remember? With like the little
Mhm.
thing on the top.
well, thank you for showing me that. Is there something you want to tell me about that room? Does your name start with a J?
That's funny.
Hmm.
I was getting the name that started with the J.
Like a John. Something happened in that room. I don't know what room it is. Something happened. Is that where something bad happened to you? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Candle.
I'm really sorry about that.
And the candle was off.
Mm-hmm.
Is it on the second floor?
Was that you earlier I kept seeing on the second floor? If it is, I'd like to go back and see you.
Candle on.
Okay.
Can you tell us a room number?
Show us a number on this box that comes with pictures.
Did that room number start with a 20?
How many, do we know how many rooms are on each floor?
No, I don't know. I mean, what the hell's that?
What was that?
That light went off too.
That sounded like a growl.
Dear.
Can't tell if it's them or something
I
here.
know.
It sounded so close.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It sounded really
it
close.
sounds like a really breathy.
Yes. What is it doing? What? Is it
It's
more
like a-
candles?
No, it's
It's like a tunnel.
a tunnel and there's like people rising up. Showing the other side maybe.
Yeah. it's-
Is that what happened when you passed? Did you go through a tunnel?
Yeah, because on this side there's a coast.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then
then
the side
they're like floating up.
Mhm.
Is that what happened when you passed?
God, just keep showing me that door. I can't get it out of my head. Were you a worker here?
Showing us a carpet with a little bear. Yeah, with the teddy bear.
Is it here?
Hmm.
Did she leave it? No, she
It's
didn't.
in like in the field. So it's not a carpet, it's in like the field, because you can see the trees and stuff.
Oh, yeah, now it's that, no, yeah,
Yeah.
now it looks like a field.
Were you buried on the property?
Were you upstairs with us on the 5th floor? Where we had the teddy bear out?
He's wearing overalls, which is why I asked if he worked here.
You worked.
Did you wear overalls? Ooh, nauseous too.
Could have been the cookie.
Yeah, could have been. I just feel like he's wearing coveralls, he has a hat and a beard, and he's standing in a doorway with a light. I don't remember if it's a candle or if it's one of those handheld lanterns. That's what I keep seeing.
Kind of like a train conductor. You
Yeah,
know,
more like a farmer, like somebody who worked the field, you know?
If your room is on the second floor, does it face the front or the back of the hospital? Showing us trees, but there's trees
There.
behind too.
There's trees behind. But at the time they were here, there were probably no trees in the front. Right?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Because I thought in the front it was all clear
Was it?
before, yeah, because they used to drive up that way.
So we're looking for second floor on that side.
I get I keep on saying 202, but I know it's probably not right. Does that number mean anything, 202? 202? Okay.
in the morgue. Now, we are with a big group of people. So there's like 25, 28, I can't remember how many.
That, yeah.
So in the background, you may hear noises and stuff that we're only going to point out anything that we caught that we know was something that we couldn't hear with our own ears. But you're going to hear voices in the back. And, the heater was coming on, kind of like the boiler room was in there as well. A lot of this is not stuff that was able to be proven.
Right.
Because we didn't have our video camera out. We had just the recorder basically going, and we were relying a lot on our senses. I will say, though, that tap that we got on the recorder, that was interesting. And the reason I put it in the body cooler is because I figured that it was going to be more quiet in there.
Right.
And that if anything wanted to speak into it, maybe it would keep
block the sound,
block all the other, outer interference from getting to it, which is why I stuck it in there. So it was interesting that I heard that tap, tap. There's no way anybody could have touched it or walked by it or done anything because it was way inside the cooler. So I thought that was interesting. There was just like a little tap, tap. But a lot of it is just Logan feeling things, which I thought was interesting. Now, we did have like our EMF candle that would come on and off, and we had, I think, the tripwire would come on and off a couple times. And we had moved it from there to the embalming table. But it was really interesting. And I had never used Seer before, the Ghost Tube app Seer. Right. And Anna used it. And at first I was like, oh, this thing, there's no way something like that. First. Yeah, so it would work. But then you would say something, or it would show something, and then you would say something. And when I say this, like, me and Anna were on one side of the room, and he was sitting on the floor against the wall, so there was no way he could see what was coming up on the app. And so he was kind of like sitting there with his eyes closed most of the time. So it was so weird how, like, some of those pictures that came up, and then you would say something, or you would say something first, and then it would show. It was like confirmation. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah, I admit that that's the first time I think I ever said to myself, holy crap, I literally just said that or saw that, and there it is.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the image may have been a little bit different than what was in my head, but it was awfully close.
The interpretation.
Yeah, the interpretation was
how it works is they think, they have the ability to use this to communicate by showing us pictures. Okay.
Right.
And that's why I was like, nah, I don't know how you can do that with an app. But after seeing what happened there, I give it a little bit more lenience. Obviously, you're going to get things that just in any kind of equipment that are going to be false things. But the fact that it showed, and I don't have those pictures, but they were on Anna's phone, but the man with the hat, it showed the man with the hat exactly the way, because after we got the picture, I was like, what does he look like? And then you told me, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy was like a thin guy, had like the Newsies hat on, and like the door with the light. And the one that was really crazy is that they showed us this like coming out of like a cave, and it was like these bodies floating up in the air. It almost represented like passing over, like crossing over. I was like, holy cow.
And this dude wanted me to see something.
Yeah. And the whole thing with the J, because Anna got a J, and then you're like, I feel like it's John. Remember that.
Yeah, that's kind of important.
Remember that, because I thought it's kind of crazy what happens later.
Yeah.
The other thing that stuck out to me, when we're talking about, like, we kept feeling like that he wanted us to go to the second floor, right? And like, so Waverly Hills, in the front and in the back, there's like the rooms in the middle, but then they've got the open porch on one side and on the other side. So there's two sets of rooms. In the front, you've got kind of like a little field in the front, but then you've got like some trees that are kind of at a distance, but then you've got, the golf course and the city is like right there. In the back, the trees are a lot thicker. Like there's actually more like trees in the back, like woods, like a patch of woods. So I was like, well, which side are you going? Because we figured we were going to go to the second floor later and try to investigate, and maybe we can figure out what he's trying to show us. And so I asked, which side, and the picture that came up were trees.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, there's trees. At first I was like, there's trees, but the thickness of the trees would be in the back because they're like almost right up against the windows. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
yeah. When it comes to these apps, guys, I'm always a big proponent of you run several different things at one time so you can get kind of a some kind of bias. But it was interesting the things that I was saying were getting represented.
But it would also, like, when stuff would come up, the candle would come on or off.
Yeah, or the
Or the
tripwire.
tripwire would light
Yeah.
up. And unfortunately, we don't have any video of that because we didn't have our video camera with us at that time. But that was it. It was like coming on and off when things, and you can hear us talking about it and being like, "Oh, this happened or this happened." Unfortunately, we just don't have the video to show you. But yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It was pretty interesting. I didn't really get a feel in the morgue. But I think for me, like, it kind of has to be quiet, and there was just too much activity going on in the whole building.
Yeah.
And so I can't really get a good setting on it, or really feel anything. But the other thing I wanted to point out is you were talking about how he looked like he was wearing overalls and you felt like he worked there or whatever. And I was like, this is not like Ashmore,
Mhm.
And I couldn't, like, I really looked up to see if I could find anything about workers or anything like that. And the only thing that I really found was like, job advertisements for nurses and orderlies and stuff like that. And it said white or African American. That's not the word they used.
Right.
May apply, basically. So it sounded like, and then we have got the picture that I already showed about the African American workers that they had thanked for working there. So that's the only documented evidence that I have of the different, nationalities that would have worked at the place or been on the grounds. But I did find this one article, and because you had said, I feel like you said something about a farm at one point.
Mhm.
And so I found this article. It says Waverly Hills hogs selling at rate of $10,000 a year. Waverly Hills Tuberculosis Sanatorium's garbage-fed hogs are selling at the rate of better than $10,000 a year. So that means they had a farm.
Yeah.
And they were raising animals and they were probably growing food and stuff. So it was the only thing that I could find talking about something like that being around. And it would make sense. They had a ton of land.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's great. That's great because that shows that there had to be somebody out there taking care of them.
Yeah. And you would probably see that, they're just trying to improve the quality of life for
Yeah.
some of the patients too. So them having something like that wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Well, they hired workers, clearly. It probably wasn't the patients taking care of them, but yeah, so that clearly shows that there was some kind of outdoor work going on.
Yeah.
So you seeing someone in overalls. So I thought that was weird. I'm like, you could maybe see a patient in like,
Like a smock or not
smock,
smock, but
yeah, the thing.
yeah, yeah.
And then the nurses' outfits and the
Mhm.
doctors and, the people that worked in the food, but to be wearing overalls and look like kind of like a little Irish farmer.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little weird, but
That's what I saw.
yeah. So it very well could be.
Yeah. So then we get to go to the body shoot.
Body shoot. And Chris
Yeah.
takes us down there. It's just the three of us. And this was the only one that I was a little apprehensive about because you always see it on the shows, right?
Mhm.
Everybody's always scared of the body shoot. And let me tell you, you walk out of the building and you walk down a long way before you even get down to where the actual like ramp is. It is so much bigger than I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
So much longer and
Yeah.
steep and dark. And on one side are steps, and on the other side it's the flat like ramp
Right.
to go down to the bottom. I mean, it's our flashlights standing at the top couldn't even shine, barely even got
Yeah,
to
you
the
could
bottom.
barely see it. And what's interesting is that you really started getting this like real weird kind of, at least for me, my eyes just kind of started playing tricks on me. Like it was kind
Yeah.
of wobbly.
Yeah.
I was just so deep. And knowing at the very end of that, if I remember correctly, there's an opening
Mm-hmm.
so that, a hearse or something or whatever would come to pick up the body would be so far away from the hospital
Mm-hmm.
that, the patients couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's steep. And I remember we even had a conversation about, even Chris was talking about how there's no way they could have pushed the gurney down
Oh, no.
forwards, or it would have just taken
Yeah, it would have
them
taken
away.
right.
So
It
they
would have been too
probably had
heavy.
to back it
Mhm.
backwards and walk backwards on the thing. And I'm like, hoo. It
Yeah,
was steep.
very
But
steep.
yeah, obviously it's pitch dark in there. You decide to sit down on the steps, and we put our Zoom recorder right next to you. And then Chris is using his DR60.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we have a little session, and I'll let you talk about this.
So I kind of just had this feeling that I needed to, for some reason, for me, whenever I connect and start doing this, I notice that if I sit down and connect with wherever I'm at is when things start to happen. So I'm like, okay, well, I was already feeling a little bit dizzy because if you look down this freaking daunting hole, you start going, oh my gosh, I needed to take a minute. So I sit down, and of course we turn the lights off. And guys, when I say that it's dark, I've been at sea with no moon and nothing, and I've seen dark. This is beyond anything dark that I could think of. So you just your mind starts to play tricks on you. Well, when I sat down, I started to get this feeling like they were trying to pull me towards the bottom of it, which was freaky. Okay, so I started to notice I started arching my shoulders a little bit to try to keep myself from falling forward, knowing I wasn't going to fall forward, but it's just a sensation I was getting. And this is going to tell you how Gen X I am. But anybody who's ever played the game Street Fighter, there was this character, and I hate to say it the way it's going to sound, but I think he was Egyptian or something like that.
Which one?
He's the one that got those super long arms and legs, and it would like...
Oh, yeah. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. But I suddenly got the feeling like somebody started shooting their arms out all the way from
Like
the
Inspector
bottom.
Gadget.
Yeah, and trying to grab me from my chest and pull me towards the bottom. Freaked me out. So I started to get super emotional, not just because of the fact it was a little bit, I don't want to say scared, but it was enough to be like, okay, there's something happening here. But I started to get this wave of emotion. And I connected with somebody who just, their raw sadness for what happened to them. I couldn't control it anymore. It's still even choking me up right now, but they were absolutely, they were confused. Like they didn't understand what the hell happened. Like they knew they were sick, but they didn't expect that there was going to be the end for them. And they were so angry, like this place didn't do right by me. It just, what happened? I'm very angry, and they just wanted some information.
Mm.
And that's what inevitably got me super emotional.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was like, Chris and I were standing there, and he was just, haven't seen him like that very often. Especially in an investigation. This has never happened before. So
Yeah, I'm usually the skeptical one. I'm usually the one manning the gear, and that sort of thing.
I'm usually the one with the feels. So for him to experience that, and then, Chris and I were standing right behind him, and we kept hearing, and he was too in what was going on with him, but we kept hearing knocks coming from way behind us. And it's not like you just walk through the double doors from the sanatorium and then you're right there you have to walk down a long hallway before you even get to the chute. So this was like at a distance behind us, we were hearing knocks. So could it have been
Nobody was
from
there.
Nobody was there. Like we could hear a couple voices far in the distance, like from inside the sanatorium, but they were definite knocks, like coming from the walls or something, like right around us, but at probably at least 5 feet away from behind where we were standing.
Which is solid concrete.
Yeah. So we're gonna play a little of this session just so you can hear the emotion in it.
I'm going to put this recorder back down. It's got that little red light there. And we might ask you some questions. And hopefully you can answer us by speaking into that as clear as possible. Is there anybody here with us? Can you tell us your name? Heard a knock down there. Feeling very emotional. It's a very heavy feeling here, for sure. And it might be a little bit of just the mental side of things.
Right.
But definitely, when we turn that corner, it's definitely a different kind of feeling. Don't think less of it. I'm wanting to cry. If there's somebody behind us there, can you come down here by us? Are you trying to tell me something? I'm sorry. Are you angry? Getting this feeling like they didn't do right by this person. Were you mistreated here?
Were you not buried where you wanted to be?
Keep getting pulled down there. Like someone's trying to pull me. Yeah, something's back there behind us.
You're getting pulled down there.
Yeah, I need to get up because I feel like someone's trying to knock me down there. Get some light. Alright, shut off the recorder.
Okay.
Not really. That was intense. Yeah, it's an intense feeling. I kept feeling like someone's trying to grab me from here,
From the chest?
from the chest, and pull me down.
Pull you down. Was it sad? Just sadness?
Oh, just overwhelming sadness. Like I started crying for a second there. Let's see.
That's all it recorded?
That's it? We said a lot more than that.
Yeah.
That's it? How? Just before you started getting affected?
Yeah. It's
Something
not-
shut the recorder off. Oh my god, I got chills. That's the first time this has ever happened to me. And it was powerful. Holy crap.
Ours is still going. I don't know if...
Yeah. So we go, after that's over, basically he stands up and we're going to try to listen back to see if we, and of course, Chris goes to play DR60. It plays like
10 seconds maybe.
And it completely shuts off. And he like freaks out because he's like, this has never happened before. Nothing's ever shut it off. It didn't drain the battery.
Nope.
It literally shut it off.
Yeah, and if you know the workings of a DR60, it is a voice. So if you're talking, that's when it records. If it doesn't, it's not recording. But very rarely, and I've never seen it, and this is the first time I've seen anything like that. It shut it off. Like if you hit the hold button, I know with our DR60, I know that if you put hold, it doesn't shut it off. It just keeps it from doing anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like the power goes out. The power was gone in this thing. And there's a couple of batteries. There's the two batteries, and there's like an internal battery for the memory. Well, none of that was harmed because Chris turns around, puts it right back on, and it worked fine the rest of the night. So
it did.
It just stopped.
Yeah. It was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But that's the body shoot, and that was the most uncomfortable I felt, I think, was being in that shoot. I think in the entire building. Now I think if there had been if it had just been like the 4 or 6 of us, it'd have been different because there's so many people walking around. It kind of, for me, it has to be really quiet, and I have to really be able to focus to feel anything. So it kind of distracts me from feeling things. So, or at least I used to think so, before other situations happen. But yeah, it was a lot more intense than I even expected it to be.
Yeah, it was a body shoot at Waverly Hills.
Yeah.
What else can you say?
Yeah. So the next part, something is great. And if you've listened to our past episodes, you know who Mike and Sam are. And
Yeah.
Sam is amazing. She's great at her Estes sessions. I mean, she's just remarkable.
Mhm.
And I was so excited to watch her do this at Waverly. So we go up, was it the third or fourth floor? Fourth floor, I think, is the
Yeah.
surgery.
Was it the third?
I think it's the fourth. It's
Okay.
the surgery room,
Yeah.
basically, where
Yeah.
they used to, do the surgeries on the patients. And we all sat in there and watched her Estes session. And we're going to play part of this for you because straight out of the gate, something crazy happened.
Yep.
And she didn't even find out about why it was so significant till
later.
to the next day when
Yeah.
we were telling her about it. But we're going to play just a little bit of her Estes session, which we've gotten permission from her to play, and then we will talk about it.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm John. I just got right into it.
John, nice to meet you.
Everybody. Hello, Mike.
Hi, how are you, John?
Jonathan.
Jonathan?
Hey,
What do you do? Are you a surgeon, Jonathan? Are you a doctor?
Jonathan, are you a patient?
my name is Grady.
Hi,
Grady.
Goodbye, Jonathan. Hi, Grady.
The creeper.
No, thank you.
Is the creeper out there?
Do you pet him?
No.
He makes my stomach churn. Ooh, I just heard this weird noise in my right ear.
Why is the creeper here? Was he sick too?
Above.
Was the creeper a patient here?
He's listening.
Okay. He can listen.
Will he talk to us? Grady, will the creeper talk to us? I'd like to hear
The creeper.
I'd like to hear what he has to say.
What does the creeper need? Why is he here?
He stays in my room.
What room do you stay in?
That sounds disturbing. Said he feeds on me
What room number are you in?
for energy.
Did you stop it?
Something is tapping like inside my earphones. It's so bizarre.
Can you tell him to stop?
Father Michael. I protected him.
Thank you for protecting Father Michael.
Just saying like a church hymn. Just an excerpt of one.
What did he protect it from?
Whew.
Did you have a job here, Shirley?
I touched you, yes. Some touched my leg. In the body shoot.
Oh.
They mimic you.
Thank you for letting us know and protecting
They
us.
feed on your energy.
You guys need to
Fourth
be alert
floor.
too. Everybody. Who's everybody?
This room got messy.
It got messy. I bet it did. Did you clean
They
up?
worked on people.
They did.
Did they not always do the right thing?
Complicated.
Very complicated.
On purpose?
Waiting to die.
It's very sad.
Lots of sadness.
For some it took years.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a hard way. Shirley, how long were you here for?
There was so much testing.
I've heard there's lots of testing. I'm sorry everybody had to go through that.
Unsanitary.
Yeah. That can definitely make things a lot worse than they need
They
to
didn't
be.
keep good books.
No. I bet it was hard to keep.
Dirty room.
With that many people here.
They didn't wash their hands.
Oh. It's a lot of cross-contamination.
You can see there's no sinks.
Hey, you're not wrong.
You are correct. There are no sinks.
Deplorable what they did.
It
Yes,
is.
ma'am.
It absolutely is.
So, Jonathan, the first name, like basically one of the first things she says is Jonathan. And you had said, Anna had said, I think it's a J name. And you had said John. And she says Jonathan. And then she says the name Grady. And I was like, and then it says from Virginia. And I looked for all the patients named John that I could find. And they do have a database that they're still updating of patients that passed away at Waverly Hills. And they don't do it by name, they do it by year, and they do it so it's impossible. You have to go through there's so many Johns.
Yeah.
And I
Well.
couldn't find a John Grady, and I looked up, I could not find a Jonathan Grady. That does not mean that he doesn't exist. That doesn't mean that that was the guy's name. That doesn't mean that those two names even have anything to do with each other. I just found it interesting that Jonathan Grady it sounds like a first and last name.
And he may not have been a patient.
Well, exactly. And if he wasn't a patient, especially if he was like a worker or something, he's not. But and I did search Ancestry, I couldn't find anything, so I was really bummed. I was like really hoping that that was the thing that I could find, and I did not find it. But the words Jonathan Grady from Virginia, part of waitstaff, and but it could also be a bunch of different spirits coming in, and which is what I would think was happening. So it just seemed to all kind of go along.
Yeah.
And the thing that sent chills up my spine, the creeper.
Yeah.
Stays in my room, feeds on me for energy. I was like, ooh,
Yeah, everybody in
that was creepy.
Everybody in that room took a collective sigh.
Yeah. Yeah, because up till that point, I don't think anybody had any interaction with the creeper. But
No.
I will say this. Is the creeper being brought up because people go there to try to interact with it is another egregore situation. Potentially. But the fact that for them to talk about it, the creeper stays in my room. And when she said feeds on me, I was like, ooh, this is creepy.
It's like trying to watch Vecna.
Creepy creeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, for my energy. So it's taking energy. Yeah. So that was crazy. And then she got like the tapping inside the earphones, which is interesting because the first time I ever did Estes was with Mike and Sam. They had a booth. That's when we first met them. And I didn't hear anything because back then I wasn't, groomed into listening for spirit voices. But I did get tapping on the inside of my earphones. And I came out and I just thought it was Sam. Like, oh, you need to be done. But I kept getting tapping. So when she said that, I was like, I know exactly what that sounds like. Because it's hard to describe to someone that it's on the inside of the earphone and not on the outside.
Right.
Like you can definitely differentiate where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So that was really funny. And I thought the other now she did mention like a Father Michael. I protected him and she heard like church music. I tried to find a Father Michael. I thought maybe visit the patients. Here's the thing.
Chaplain or something like that.
Louisville, Kentucky. Well, Father, yeah, more Catholic, right?
Okay, yeah.
And Michael is more like an Irish name. There are so many Father Michaels in Louisville, Kentucky at that time. Because I found one, but I could never find an association with them coming to Waverly Hills. And I'm sure it happened. It's just probably not wrote about or documented anywhere of them talking about it. But there were several Father Michaels. And around that time, and that was open from the 26 to 61 or whatever the years were. So that's a long time period. So it's very, there probably was a Father Michael that came and prayed to them.
Plenty of them, yeah.
And then obviously there was a bunch of other names that came in, and the little thing that happened when she's like speaking with someone, and they're talking about the surgery room. This room got messy. They worked on people. Complicated, waiting to die. Because remember I told you about, and we don't know about everything that they tried in there, but the whole balloon thing.
Yeah.
Like, and I understand back then they thought, oh, well, this will allow these people to breathe better, but inserting a balloon, but they were experimenting, trying because there was no cure for tuberculosis.
Right.
We have to remember that. There was no cure back then. So they were trying things, what can help these people breathe and help keep them alive. But they worked on people waiting to die. For some, it took years. There was so much testing. It was unsanitary. They didn't keep good books. And I was like, maybe that's why I can't find what I need to find, because there's not, unless, like, I can't find anything from inside the hospital, like anything. You'd probably have to go to like some kind of
protected under HIPAA.
and archives and stuff to find that. But if they didn't keep good books, a lot of this stuff could be swept under the rug.
100%.
A dirty room. They didn't wash their hands. You can see there's no sinks. And as soon as she said that, I'm like, you know what?
There aren't any.
There's no sinks. But I was just thinking, oh, those have been torn out.
There
Like,
was no sconce for it.
but yeah, there was no like holes in the floor where a sink would have been or like pipes or anything. I'm like, ew.
Yeah.
So infection and everything else
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Deplorable what they did. Medicine, we need some. So it was crazy what came through in her Estes session. But the whole Jonathan thing,
Yeah,
right
that-
out of the gate. Because I remember we were sitting on the right-hand corner, and Chris
Mhm.
and Anna were over by the door. I remember as soon as she said Jonathan,
All of us.
Anna's face flew to the right and looked at us,
Yeah.
and we looked to the left, and we're like, oh my God.
You even hear us, I think, gasp in it when she says
Maybe.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was just crazy.
Yeah.
The one name. But yeah, the Estes session was really cool. So here's the last part of our investigation, and this is the longest and what we actually were able to use our IR camera for. And we set ourselves up on the second floor because we are trying to connect to
Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan. So it's me and you and Chris and Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Second floor, we're on the front side of
Yes.
Waverly Hills. And we set up, we've got the video camera and we've got their Chris and Anna's tripwire
Right,
at the
all
very
the way
end,
at the end of the hall.
where
Mhm.
it starts to curve to the
Mhm.
left. And then we've got our trip light
Mm-hmm.
stretched out.
Yeah.
And then we've got an
The
EMF
laser,
candle.
yeah.
Yeah. What else? And then we've got our portal.
Yeah.
Our portal box going. So we're going to play this clip of this and then we will talk about all the stuff.
Okay, we're on.
Stay still. Is someone here? Yeah, we're here.
Some people.
Somebody being difficult?
Thanks, Jim.
Okay.
Living home. And
Oh, something triggered me.
back and listen to.
John, was that you?
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we're listening.
We're listening.
Thanks for being here and talking to us. Can you touch one of those purple lights down there at the end of the hallway?
Can you tell us your name?
Yeah, we're listening.
Well, God's word.
God's prayer.
You're kidding.
You're kidding me.
Hurry, listen. Oh, every morning.
We wish we could help everyone.
Okay.
The desk.
So when we were in the morgue, I kept getting an image. But I feel like this comes from when we were up here earlier, when all of us saw your shadow at the end of this hall.
Kentucky Burke. And now,
Is your name John?
will you know it?
We know it.
So John,
I'm here to
I'm here to tell.
what are you here to tell, John?
What's your story, John?
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Future behind. Do I need
John,
to?
what was your last name?
Nine.
Guy.
Just give me. I don't understand.
It's outside.
You said something
You say.
You said.
that you say.
John, are you still with us?
What?
What?
Stop.
stop. No
Holy
white
water.
noise or nothing.
Yeah, that's weird.
Did you turn that off?
John, did you shut that off?
Hey, John, is it you messing with the radio? Can you turn the light out, the candle off if it's you? Candle's off.
Okay, so during this, and we've clipped it up because it's a very
it's
long video,
Very long.
and in between some of this, we've got other investigators.
Right. This was an event.
This was an event, so they're
Mm-hmm.
coming in and out. So any lights that you see in the background, they're flashlights. You know, we made sure to make sure that's
Yeah.
what they were. You're going to see helicopters flying over.
Planes, all
You're going
that
to see the
stuff.
bugs flying in front of the
Oh,
screen,
yeah.
so that's not any orbs or anything like that. And you're going to hear people walking. I mean, I know Mike was checking on people, so he was walking back and forth, and we had people coming through. So a lot of that stuff we tried to clip out as much as we could, unless there was something underneath it that we
Right.
wanted you guys to see.
Right.
So we did get some interesting stuff on the portal for the short time period that we had it working.
Yeah. Frustrating.
Yeah, we did get the light strip lit up a couple times, and you know the candle comes on and off a couple of times. But I mean, a lot of the stuff was kind of random,
Mm-hmm.
but we did get a couple EVPs like in the background, and this was I verified that no one else was around. That this is timestamp that when these people are in and out. The first one we got was help.
Yeah.
We definitely got a help. And then what was funny is we got the EVP help, and then help came up on the portal.
Isn't that wild?
So like that was crazy. I love when that happens though, because
it's like that reassurance and that confirmation bias that tells you, okay. And that's why I love running analog and digital
Yes.
and all that stuff at the same time, just to kind of see
what happens.
what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love is your name John? You know it. I love that I'm here and he says the word Kentucky, and that voice is the same all the way through it
Yeah.
in the beginning.
It's the same person talking
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. And then like the what? And we got a voice right there before it died. And people are walking through this instance. So I tried to, and you hear and it's the same voice says three different things. And it sounds like a Southern African American man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you hear a just give it to me. And then I don't understand. I can't do the accent, but I don't understand. You say, he says it really loud, and then what is really loud, and then boom, portal goes off. And we're like, what happened? I thought it toasted it.
I thought so too.
This burst of energy toasted it. Well, the lights are on. I don't understand. We could not get it. What it did was it completely zapped that battery.
Right. So there's two batteries of this thing. There's an external battery that runs the pedals, which is substantial. But then there's a 9-volt battery that sits inside the honeytone itself.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am messing with the battery on the outside, thinking that it did something to that. What it did is it just completely zapped the 9-volt battery that's in that honeytone.
Mm-hmm.
And that, guys, let me tell you something, a 9-volt, that's pretty stout.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the little AAAs, the AA's, they're good, but they usually need 2 for something that's substantial. Good old block 9-volt, that sucker will power anything for a while, and it just zapped. You guys can hear it perfectly fine, and then boom, just stops.
We're like, what is going on? Oh no, because it's one of my favorite pieces of equipment. I'm like, please don't be broken. Please don't be broken. But so we decide, since we can't use that anymore, Anna decides to turn on her Vox app on her phone, and we're going to play that little bit here for you, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay, John, you took care of one device.
Thanks.
Now we got another one that you could talk to us through.
John, I know you were trying to contact us, if that is your name, John. But I feel like you've been trying to talk to us all night.
That was weird.
What was that?
Just a sigh came through.
Oh, I thought it was more like a shh.
Yeah, we're here, John.
Yeah.
It's all night. Were you upset by all the people walking through?
There's too many?
So just choose one you like.
Choose the one that's closest to you.
So if John's not with us,
Here, guys.
We're here.
okay. Can you show us by going in front of one of these devices over here?
Can you try telling us your name? If this is not John.
Thank you.
Did that say I'm responsible?
Chris.
I'm with Chris.
I'm with Chris.
Great. Does it sound like a different language?
Have we ever tried a different language? Anna, have you ever tried Spanish?
Yeah.
It's warm.
It's warm. It is.
No doubt.
What was our first name?
Chini?
Chini. Yeah,
Sounds like a
Chini.
laugh.
Yeah.
Because they say that the guy that's there spoke like 7 different languages.
Do you like the candle?
That was weird.
That
Yeah.
sounds like music.
Yeah.
I heard it
that-
earlier too.
And that turned on the candle
Yep, sure
at the
did.
same time. What language do you speak?
Anna.
Doctor.
Are you a doctor?
Or do you need a doctor? Do you know what's wrong with you? Or do you need to see a doctor because you...
If you are a doctor, can you tell us what's wrong with us?
You know, that's
No.
interesting. So if you're a
That couldn't
doctor,
be more perfect timing.
if you're a doctor, that was hilarious.
No, I don't know. That's freaking Spanish.
It is.
Anna, you want to give it a shot and see if
Didn't
it...
they say like, tú crees?
That's what I thought.
What is that?
Like, that's what you
That's what you
thought.
think. Yeah, that's what you think.
Ask some questions in Spanish.
You can do better.
You can do better. I know I can, but I'm kind of stuck with it.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I live in Madrid.
I live in Madrid. ¿Nos puedes decir tu nombre? ¿De dónde eres?
There's one.
Yo amo Logan.
Nicholas.
¿Nos puedes decir tu nombre? Dice Nicolás.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
Hola, Nicolás. Me llamo Ana.
I was talking to a Spanish guy and a drunk guy.
Yeah.
Right? That was rude. I'm sorry.
Talk to me.
Ah.
¿Este es tu lugar de trabajo?
This is.
Weird?
This is.
Yes.
Hold accountable.
Quiero un caldo.
Sound like that.
I thought it said something campo.
Oh.
¿Cuál caldo? ¿Quieres albóndigas?
El caldo de pollo. That fixes everything.
Possible.
Possible, yeah.
Sí.
Esa es su.
Eso es tú.
Yep.
Man, the Spanish is coming in clearer than the English.
Yeah, it is.
¿Necesitas ayuda con algo?
Sí.
Ooh, something flashed over
Yeah, I
there.
saw it.
Was that the tripwire?
Yeah, it was a tripwire.
¿De dónde vienes, Nicolás? ¿De dónde eres? ¿México? ¿Colombia?
¿Vienes de España?
¿Honduras?
Was that a C?
That's what it sounded
Sounded
like.
like it.
Yeah.
So eres de Honduras.
What do they call
I
it?
want to leave.
I want to leave. Trapped.
Did they not treat you well here?
No.
Hablando de Frank.
Wow, there it is again.
La caja de Frank.
Uh-huh.
Esta es la caja de Frank.
Yeah.
Look, I got
That's
chills.
It's exactly what it
I
said.
heard Frank.
La caja de Frank.
La caja de Frank.
Frank box.
Frank's box.
That's
Talking
what it
Spanish
says.
to
Yes.
us.
What?
It's
Talking
just French.
Spanish to us.
Really?
And
Yes.
it said La caja de Frank, which is Frank's box. Music.
What was that?
You don't understand.
You don't understand.
I feel like we're on to something with the Spanish though.
Maybe ask him if he plays guitar.
Tocas guitarra.
Same.
Look at that.
See? It sounds like guitar
Yeah, it
strings.
sounds like guitar strings.
Same thing.
¿Te gusta la música?
No.
Okay. We got people who are quick. I heard that.
There's more music.
I'm walking.
I'm walking.
Where are you walking to?
And the candle was on.
He wouldn't even see them if they went by.
Dialogue.
Dialogue? Oh, did we stop talking to you? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so far we think we've spoken to John. We think we've spoken to
Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Larry.
Larry.
Maybe a Larry. Is there anybody else here?
Foolish Nick.
Foolish Nick.
Nicolás, ¿sigues aquí? ¿Puedes apagar la vela si estás aquí con nosotros?
Kill.
Killed.
Why?
Did something bad happen to you here? Was it not your time to go?
John, if you're still here, I want to take one last attempt to talk to you. Because you really tried to reach out to me. Are you still here, John?
I'm stuck.
I'm stuck.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, John. How can we help you?
What did you do?
We're talking to something, and we get an EVP. I can't really tell what it says, or if it's, some kind of artifact. It was hard to tell, so I don't know for sure if it was an EVP. But we start getting words that are sounding a little off to our ears that maybe we don't recognize, and we think, is this another language?
Yeah, there were a couple of ones that keyed into me. I've traveled a bit in my life, and I start to notice certain patterns, and I started to notice this is a different dialect. Something else is coming through here.
Yeah. And that we got a couple laughs. I was
Yeah.
like, and we've heard that before,
Yeah, we have.
but it's very rare to get a laugh. And then these music sounds start coming through. I'm like, what is going on? All
Yeah,
this randomness,
I mean, it's sweeping
Yeah.
radio, but
but
it's
not
been
that
doing
kind of radio.
right, and it's been doing it nonstop,
Yeah.
and you don't hear it at all. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it shows up.
Mm-hmm.
We never changed the sweep rate, and it was
Right.
always the same way that it was going. So for it to just all of a sudden start, that was pretty odd.
Yeah. And my favorite part of the whole night is like, can you tell us what's wrong with us? Dumb.
Dumb.
Like immediately, we were all, I'm sure you could all hear us. We were laughing so hard because it was just like the perfect like mic drop.
Yeah.
You're dumb.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take it takes a lot from myself, Chris, and everybody that's in there. We're pretty vocal and we all joke around. Talk about a mic drop. Neither
I
one of
know.
us were like, well, okay.
But I love that because it shows that human connection
Right.
with a spirit. Like if they're talking with you, if they've got like a funny personality and they're like, you guys are dumb,
Yeah.
it's just like that. And the fact that we laugh, and I just love that type
Mhm.
of communication.
Right.
hmm
Yeah.
And so after that, we try to get back on track. But we had the candle go off and back on a few times, but then we think it's like Spanish coming through.
Oh, we
and
definitely heard. I heard Spanish immediately.
yeah, and Anna knows Spanish. She's
Mhm.
fluent in it, and you know Spanish
Mm-hmm.
pretty well.
Yeah.
Enough to like start picking up on this. So me and Chris were just sitting there like, okay, I guess you guys are up because there's nothing we can really do. I'd be like, here, ask them this. I can't speak Spanish. I wish I could, but I can't. But we got the name Nicholas.
What can Brown do for you?
All right now. But if you want to talk a little bit about that, because in the moment I was like, I don't have any idea what's happening right now.
Yeah, so we, as you heard, we started speaking in Spanish, and we obviously I'll put the translations up for you guys that are watching it too. But really, you're hearing, we just wanted to talk with you. What's your story? Basically, the things you would ask in English as well. But it was interesting because we were getting responses in Spanish.
Yeah.
There have been times where I've tried Spanish. I think I tried it at Brooks and I tried it at a few other places where you hear one or two things and I'm like, oh, maybe they're trying to speak to me in Spanish. No, there was some conversations going on in Spanish. The one thing that kind of cracked me up, and maybe not cracked me up because I started thinking about the humanity behind this. If this person was there with tuberculosis, they were sick.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked for soup.
Mm-hmm.
Soup is a comfort food.
Yeah, it is.
And
and that's probably what they fed them, a lot of broth.
Right, a lot of
Yeah.
broths and everything. And that came up, and I thought that was really interesting because there was a very human side to that. And, I asked them if they wanted albóndigas, which is a very common soup for especially this time of year where it's, it's cold outside. And Anna said chicken soup because chicken soup will solve everything. But
Anna likes asking questions about chicken.
she does like chicken. Oh, and ham as it turns out, that's something you'll find out later. But yeah, it was just sort of that thing. And we asked Nicholas to try to touch some of the lights. And I think we even got one potential hit on this tripwire.
Yeah.
But nothing super visual. Just a lot of auditory. But we were 100% having a conversation in Spanish with somebody. And it started to make sense, I mean, whether or not this person was a patient or whether they were a worker there, we didn't know that. Like none of that came through.
Are they even from Waverly?
Right, or are they even, right, could they have wandered in? We have no idea. But, I started thinking about, well, if there is hired help, let's be honest, in that time in history, it was either going to be most likely African American, it could have been Mexican, Honduran. It's going to be a lot of these people that were in the service industry that, unfortunately, you could pay them a much smaller salary, little to nothing, and but they were definitely going to work there and help out. So that's kind of what came to mind. I started thinking about even my grandmother. My grandmother was a brown woman, didn't know any English. But she worked at a hospital. She was an orderly. So you start thinking about, okay, that service industry, you're going to see probably a much heavier amount of that type of ethnic worker. So that's what kind of got me down that road.
Yeah.
The thing that floored me the most out of this entire thing in speaking Spanish with this person, they said, "La caja de Frank." Okay. Now, in English, that is Frank's box.
And since you're not going to see this right before we sit down to do this, Sam and some people had walked through and they were going to set up shop behind us, like farther down, because she was going to do her first Frank's box session.
Yep.
And they were currently doing it when this came through.
Yep.
So the spirits were aware, they were telling us to tell them they need to speak Spanish to them through Frank's box. Yep. Ask us the questions so we can answer through the Frank's box, even though we couldn't hear it at the time. That was crazy.
Never did I ever expect to hear that.
No.
I mean, it'd be one thing to hear it in English because you'd be like, holy crap, they said Frank's box.
Right.
But in the clearest, and even Anna's like, did he say that? I'm like, that is exactly what he said. He said, caja de Frank. And both of us were floored.
I know. Me and Chris are like, what?
Yeah.
Who's Frank?
Yeah.
Who's Frank?
Who's Frank?
But yeah, that was crazy because, I mean, they were doing a session with the Frank's
right
box.
behind us.
Yeah, it's just insane. It's insane.
So go back to school and learn some Spanish, guys. Or just have somebody that knows it.
Yeah, have someone that knows it.
Or two in this sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I searched. I couldn't find anything. Even and I think I said this before, the job, in the newspaper where, needed white or, they said the wrong word, but African American, they never reached out to anybody else like anyone else could apply. So that's why I was like, but I'm sure there were those jobs that I never saw the jobs for the outside workers. It was always inside the hospital, and maybe that they only allowed those two ethnicities inside the hospital. So maybe it was just the workers on the outside. But all the music stuff was just crazy. I'm like, where is this
Yeah.
coming from? Like, I felt like there was some purpose behind that. And I will say, the only thing I did find, and I put it in here, there was a doctor in the hospital that was hired from Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And in Brazil, they speak Portuguese, which is
Right.
close to.
It's quite a distance from Spanish, but yeah.
But it's still in that Latin type.
It's a romantic language,
Right.
yes.
And I think that if it was Portuguese coming through, you guys wouldn't have understand it as well. So, but it was the only thing that I could find of a Latin link to maybe why you were getting, Spanish coming through. But like we said, may have nothing to do with Waverly. It could come from outside of it. But it was a pretty interesting little session. It was really cool. And then it kind of just went flatline. Yeah. And it was over, but it was cool. And the one thing we didn't mention is earlier in the day on the second floor when we first got up there, because we did like a little investigation, is we were seeing, do you remember at the end of the hallway?
Oh, the shadows.
The shadows
Oh, yeah.
peeking out. We don't have any evidence
No.
of that because we didn't have the camera on or anything. It was just with our own eyes. You could see them like peeking around the walls and like
Peekers for sure.
Yeah, between the windows and stuff.
Yeah, Chris was on one side and I was on the other. And we were not only on one different side, but he was like kind of in front of me, and I'm sort of behind trying to set the camera up. And I think he had just got through bringing the tripwire or something. And he was walking his way back. And I think we both kind of turned because I thought I heard it before I saw it. Maybe, I don't know. But I looked and he was looking the exact same direction. I'm like, did you see that? Because I saw that.
Yeah.
It was like, kept getting like this little peek around, like someone was
saw
looking at
it
us.
once because we were busy doing other stuff. And by the time I looked, I only caught it that one time kind of moving. And it was very, I don't know. It was barely there by the time I looked. But I did see just a tad of like a peek.
And you have to be careful too, because a place like that, you'll get shadow play.
Yeah.
There's so many right angles. There's a lot of things, and it's dark. So, as an investigator, you got to be really honest with yourself and say, okay, did I just see, was like my eyes kind of playing tricks on me? Because it will.
It will, definitely, at that place. Yeah.
But it was not only me, it was corroborated by yourself and with Chris. And so there was definitely, peeking. This was not with the party that we were with.
No. So that was our investigation of Waverly Hills. It was amazing.
Yeah.
We were exhausted because not only just the investigation, but the heat just took it out of it. And everyone there felt the same way. I mean, we were all chugging, I don't know, much water and soda and eating, and just like we could not, the heat was just suffocating. It was suffocating humidity. But we did Waverly Hills.
Hills.
It was a bucket list item for us. And I didn't think we'd ever get there.
Maybe one day, but I didn't know. You always tell yourself you're going to.
Yeah.
But it's funny too. Those of you who have been or seen it on TV or something. So aside from the actual building itself, is like it's a hospitality kind of area. There's a bar there. There's a place where you can kind of eat and do stuff. That was like the bastion of salvation for everybody because it was air conditioning. I mean, you see waves of people coming in and out of us, 28 or whatever that were there. And you could just see it. We were withered from that heat.
Were withered.
It was just like, oh my God.
But we've got a picture here of the group. We're going to put up, love them all to death. Some people we met for the first time, and we knew a lot already, but it was a lot of fun. I think everybody enjoyed themselves, and Mike and Sam always throw a great investigation, and this one was just top notch. Because it was Waverly Hills, and they provided all the goodies. Get our sugar intake and and pop us back up after all the heat. But yeah, it was a great time. I had a fantastic time with Waverly, and with that, I'm surprised even with that amount of people, it is hard to kind of like
it is
keep your investigation closed off, and and we probably would have found more or gotten more with less, but I'm pleased with what we did get just for that short amount of time that we got by ourselves, and the information that was coming through. I think we really connected to a few of the spirits there.
Yeah, 100%. And it's interesting because Once again, you go there with some knowledge of what's happening, and you expect to connect with one thing, and that's not necessarily who you connect with.
Right. Most of the time, I find
Yeah.
that. And that's why I don't like to focus on the big named ones,
Right.
because I feel like if it's become lore, unless I know for sure that it actually happened, I won't really
Yeah.
focus on it too much.
Well, because you're expecting that one thing. And I'm looking at my phone here, guys, whoever's watching this or not, but so we did go there with Erica Burton.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give her a shout out here. And I want to make sure I say this right here. Let's see here.
Soul.
Yeah.
Lo. It's like solo, but soul.
There you go.
SOULLO paranormal.
Yeah, our dear friend Erica Burton has started her own investigation channel or whatever have you, and a lot of other things, but she is soul like Nicole said,
soul
low paranormal. So please, if you're on the social, especially Facebook, check her out, follow her. But we expect good things from you, Erica.
Yeah, we do. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, she is. We love her to death.
Yeah. But yeah, that was
Waverly.
Waverly. It was fun and not much else to say. So if you get a chance to go, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah.
But to my point is, when you go somewhere, try to talk to all the spirits. Don't just focus on the main ones, because I feel like it's almost like a popularity contest.
It is.
Like they're the celebrities of the spirit world, and all the others are sitting behind like, I want to talk.
Yeah.
Like I have something to say. I need I need you to know something. So just try to stay open.
Yeah.
And see what comes through instead of just calling out a certain person. And because that does build energy in that one thing. And like I said with the nurse, I could be wrong. And if the woman did commit suicide or she was murdered, that's a horrible story. And, I'll eat my words gladly.
Done it myself a million times.
But I just feel like her story didn't happen in the way that it's being told. And the more energy we put into that, she's going to be there.
Yeah, she is.
That energy is going to be there, and it's going to respond. It's going to say, oh, yeah, that's exactly who I am, and this is what happened. And it's crazy to think that our own feelings and energies create these things. It's just hard to wrap your head around, but we've seen evidence of it.
We sure have.
In the past, and so be careful with that. Be careful with that. Let them tell you who they are. Don't ask for them.
Yeah.
That's the best advice I can give.
That is great advice. Guys, listen.
He has to say that. He's married to me.
Guys, thank you so much for being on this ride with us. This is the holiday season. Yeah, we're excited for the next year coming up. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for being with us. Great investigation. It is the holiday season, so those of you who have family, enjoy your family there. Whatever you do, Christmas tree, Hanukkah, whatever it is, enjoy the time, because you never know when it's the last. And on that note,
we got some great stuff coming up.
Stuff coming up.
We're working hard over here trying to get it all done. You know how the end of the year is, so we're trying to get it to you.
Mad dash.
Hold on tight. I know everybody is so excited about the Ireland episodes, and we're just as excited to bring them to you. They're just a lot of work, and there's some things we got to get out before that. But
gigabytes of photos and video. It's a lot, guys.
But I promise, by the first of the year, you're gonna have the first one coming out. So just hang on a little bit longer, please and thank you.
On that note, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
I'll see you next week.